There is a section that talks about page 986, intestinal microbes and gas. I don't know if anybody has any issue with your colon, but hopefully not. Okay. The colon is protected by 600 plus species of bacteria. I don't remember the exact number, 600 and something. There should be a number there. No, it's 800. Okay, lots. Okay, so meaning our body has more bacteria than our own body cells everywhere. Starting from your skin to the oral cavity, everywhere you find bacteria, maybe not in the stomach because of the acid. Right? So these bacteria, they not only protect the lining of your intestine, they do some other things. So we call them gut microflora. People have abused our colon so much that we take Activia, we take this, we take supplements, we take all the bacteria you can get that works or doesn't work depending on the case. And even some people are trying to get whatever is in here and put it back into the system to have more of those good bacteria, right? So these bacteria, what they do, they digest. Remember, when you eat anything like vegetables, fruits, or a bark like cinnamon, it has a bark, right? Not the powder, the real one. And there are things called lignin, pectin. These are very complex sugars which you cannot digest at all. So those are digested by some of those bacteria. Pectin will be in some of the fruits that have a thick outer layer. Like most of the, like if you take leafy vegetables, some of the thick part, the stem, the twigs and all, those are all made up of cellulose. We don't digest because we don't have a cellulase, right? You cannot make it an egg. So only your bacteria can produce cellulase that will digest. And we get a free vitamin. Anybody? Vitamin K. It's produced in your large intestine. Because you're doing all of that, these bacteria, they're also acting on where there's a lot of junk already in there, right? That pass through the ileocecal valve here from the ileum to the cecum. You have the ileocecal valve here, right? So there's a lot of junk here. So the bacteria try to digest everything there. So in the process, they produce a lot of gas, which is rich in ammonia, sulfur dioxide. So they are smelling bad, foul smelling. So they call this gas as if a tire went flat. They call it flatus. So as you'll see all of that, can you see the words gut microbiome, flatus, what gases? It has hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, methane. Then if you see that picture where you see the feces in the rectum, can you see the red and green arrows? If you see the green arrows going to the spinal cord, immediately there is one red arrow coming down. You see that? Then there is a parallel, there is another red arrow coming all the way from the brain, if you see the picture, right? The green arrow basically tells you that the rectum is filling up with the feces, so your rectum is expanding, right? Are you with me on the picture? Okay. So the rectum is expanding, so you're sending signals to the brain, but you cannot wait for the brain, so immediately you get response back. The the reflex arc comes back down to open your internal sphincter. Remember, you have two sphincter valves. The internal is involuntary, so it tries to open, but it will not complete the job until you get the other signal from the brain. So you see both the red arrows coming down, both signals have to be shared. So then only the external sphincter will open, obviously. So they call this intrinsic defecation reflex, or instead of extrinsic, they call it now parasympathetic. If you did AP1, the autonomic nervous system, towards the end of the nervous system, you must have learned the sympathetic and parasympathetic. They work against each other, right? So here the parasympathetic division controls the extrinsic defecation reflex. So one operates your internal involuntary muscle, the other one operates your external voluntary muscle. Then if you see in the same page, in the beginning of the page, on the top, can you see next to mass movements, gastropholic reflex, duodenofolic reflex? You see a lot of reflexes here and there. What that tells you, gastropholic reflex means what? Stomach and colon. So when you have something in your colon and you have something in your stomach, that sends signals to the brain to keep moving. Don't get stuck, meaning keep moving. If you see duodenofolic reflex, that tells the brain where the food is, in the duodenum and colon, right? So meaning, you have to keep moving the food along, otherwise, so how do you know? Like, you don't want to waste your energy doing all these movements if there is nothing. So when something is full, then your brain gets the signal, then you do the movement, whether it's a postural contraction, mass movement, your peristalsis, or the churning. And there are hormones also that send signals when your stomach is full. If you have your stomach like this, when it is full, and if you remember the gastric pits, we saw the various cells. There was one cell in the bottom called the G cell that secretes a hormone called gastrin. Gastric, stomach. Gastrin tells the stomach to start releasing whatever you find in the stomach, like the hydrochloric acid, your pepsinogen, and all of that. Otherwise, you'll be producing for nothing. Then another two hormones that activate your pancreas and gallbladder to do the secretion. One is called secretin. The name itself tells what it does. These are all hormones, okay? So in one of my figures I gave you, there is a section that says hormones for reflexes. The other hormone is your CCK. CCK stands for cholecystokinin. Cystic means what? Gallbladder, right? So the secretin and cholecystokinin trigger your pancreas and gallbladder. You know what they make, but you don't want them to release unless you need it, right? So the hormones tell you when to do things. So you have three major hormones: gastrin, secretin, and cholecystokinin. So the only two things I did not cover yet is the saliva composition, the bile. We can look that up probably next class before we do the nutrition. So if you see the next chapter, the nutrition, it's a very generic chapter, so there is not a whole lot of concepts, but we will go through that. But especially the first 2-3 pages are important. Again, the first 2 pages. Can you see the picture of the brain? So can you see at the bottom of the brain there are some compounds that signal the brain when you are full, when you are hungry, when you are full. So we need to learn about that. We'll do that when you come back. And go through all the pages, at least the highlighted words, the different sections. You will see that there's not a whole lot for me to teach. And towards the end, so I need to spend about half an hour, and then we will go to heart. Okay, so mostly we'll be spending the time on the heart, the whole chapter. The heart is a very small chapter, unlike your digestive system. We are going to do the structures of the heart, how the heart works, a little bit about the EKG, and probably, okay, how the heart functions. So, as you can see, if there is anyone who doesn't have the time to read up, see, I can keep you till 9:15, I can finish the nutrition today, but there's only so much you can take, I can do. I can teach as long as I want.